everyone, and yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to meet Ivan, as I said, and yeah, I've been now working with spirits and off-worlders, etc., for some time, and what I've been hearing is that it's now time to share everything that I've been sort of being told with everyone as well, and I think this is an amazing platform to do that. So as I said, I'm based in the UK. I'm based in Kent. So I think with the wonders of technology, it's amazing to reach out to everyone. So hello.
Mm-hmm. Actually, what exactly you're doing? What is your interest in this world in this mystical world we live?
That's quite an open question, I think. So, I mean, I think it very much stems from the fact of when I was very young. I said I've got an amazing mum who has always sort of been very open. So, as I said, from a young age, I went to sort of mind, body, and spirit festivals and things, and I picked up a pendulum. So if people don't know, picked up a pendulum, just so that they know, at a very young age, and was absolutely fascinated how this, you have one too. Oh, I like that orange. Is it like amber or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, very, very nice. But yeah, so most people are the same when they usually kind of like pick up a pendulum for the first time, and I was absolutely blown away the fact that I was asking what seemed like an inanimate object a question and it was giving me an answer. And literally I've sort of been working with pendulums ever since then, and through that I kind of got a better connection with the spirit world, and over the past year or two, even further, really. So
how you receive these answers of your question in your mind, like a thoughts or like a pictures in your mind?
So when working with any dowsing implement, so whether it be a pendulum, rods, a bobber, etc., you're linking into your subconscious mind. So we store so much information in our subconscious mind that our conscious mind can't necessarily compute. So what we're doing with the aid of a tool, if you like, is we're asking our subconscious mind a question, and the answer comes through in the movement of the object. So there's a electro wave that goes through from the subconscious into the pendulum, and it will make it move in a particular way. So I mean, that's a real kind of basic kind of dowsing 101. I mean, obviously I could go into a lot more detail, but that's kind of how I got into it. Obviously you need to make sure that you're in the right mindset. I mean, dowsing has been used for centuries upon centuries upon centuries, from finding water to ley lines to, but what we're discovering now is that through the world of divination, so dowsing in different ways, is that our use of the pendulum or various other tools can actually give us better connection on different planes, different levels.
Mm-hmm. What kind of experiences you have? Do you have any encounters with astral world, or from another space, or another dimension, ghosts?
Maybe? So yeah, no, I'm really glad you kind of worded the question in that way, Ivan. I really am, because with as I mentioned before, when I first picked up a pendulum, it was very much kind of like me talking to me. And then from there, it was apparently, again, when I was really young, I was obviously talking to spirits and things. So that's always sort of been in my life. And I found that when using a pendulum, you can then connect to spirit, and you can ask spirit to give you an answer. And again, that's where sort of the work comes into it. So it's very much what we call top down answers, because it's either coming from up there or it's coming from in here. I'm probably sort of using my hands a bit much there, but and yeah, so hopefully that kind of answers it from like the spirit realm. As I said, I've been a medium in that for quite some time now. So but I find very much the pendulum, I either say whether I'm tuning into my higher self or I'm tuning into my guides. So I said, for example, a Lula who I work a lot with, if I'm finding an answer very difficult to get, I would then ask him to give me an answer, and all the side of my body will feel very, very different. It will feel very, very different. And especially when I'm trying to like clear certain energies, if somebody asks me to sort of clear like stagnant and negative energy from like their house or somewhere like that, I need a little bit more oomph behind what I can do. So I ask the guys to step in just to kind of like help clear that. From working with different beings, you mentioned as well there, from obviously different astral planes, sort of maybe 10, 11, 12 dimensional beings. I've been aware of dimensional beings for a very, very long time. And every time I look away, I'm listening to my guys, so I do apologize. Yes, I have been very aware of, as I said, the different levels of being for a very long time.
Who are they?
So you're working with what we call off-worlders. So as I said, they're from like different dimensions. They're from different galaxies and things like that. I mean, I believe there's around sort of like 90 different sort of species and things. I mean, you've got the agenda ones and the non-agenda. So like you've got your reptilians, like Dracos, etc., which are like the agenda beings. They have an agenda, they've got something to do. Or you've got the non-agenda, who are more like your star seeds, etc., who are here to help. So they're here to provide us with the love, the support, the technology, see how we can really move on with this human civilization, if you like.
Are we ready for them technology?
Sorry?
Do you think that we are ready to use technology they have? Maybe that will be danger for us.
That again really leads into again the world of dowsing. I don't believe we're fully ready for the type of technology that they can provide. However, that doesn't actually stop us from gradually introducing various methods of technology in order to support us. And obviously there are people working on different levels with these beings in order to bring it onto this plane and to help us. I think the type of technology that they have, we're definitely not ready. I think that would completely be the wrong thing.
Actually, when we're talking about technology, we're not supposed to think some kind of devices or machine, because technology can be different meaning, different way to thinking, to activating your consciousness, your vibrations, to elevate it. And that also can be some kind of technology, I believe.
So I mean, one of the things that I've had the absolute privilege of recently, and again, thank you for really sort of clarifying and clearing up that point, is that through my activation and working a lot closer with was it the main off-worlder who I work with, who is renaming nameless, is I was absolutely privileged to be shown a different type of pendulum that they work with, and I will bring it up to the camera slightly. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, I see it. It's beautiful.
She is absolutely stunning. And you've got selenite. So the crystal is a selenite crystal, and it's woven with copper.
What is copper?
So it's got a copper. Yeah, the metal is copper.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry, I'm not too sure what your camera's picking up there. And this is a piece of, if you like, technology that I've been shown. It's something that they use, obviously, that I've never seen it here before. Whether there's other people who have been shown the same thing or have been using a similar thing, but when I was given when I was given the details of the pendulum, really, like a picture in my mind, and then once I'd actually put it together, I was then obviously told how to use it, and very much it's apparently the copper is known as the Tesla coil, and obviously there's a lot of history behind Tesla, which I necessarily won't go into because that's not where my knowledge is. My knowledge is very much how to use it in regards to
so they give this technology to Nikola Tesla.
It's called a Tesla coil.
Yeah, that's
Tesla coil.
Yeah, that was my question. They gave Tesla this technology, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's my belief. Absolutely. Very much so. So you've got so what this does is it picks up on various waves. I have made 1 or 2 notes, so if I do look down, because I was afraid I was going to miss something when mentioning this to you. So this very much picks up on their different energy waves and electromagnetic waves. So the work that I've been doing with this is to identify the different races and species that are actually working on this planet at the moment. So for a prime example would be the main thing I do is hold an image of a person, and my pendulum will tell me if it's a gender or a non-agender being, whether that particular person is working on this plane or not. It will all by moving in various different directions. I don't necessarily want to go into that now. One bit I will very much mention is one of the reasons why they have used copper is because it's very much an antibacterial metal. So where I was saying before with dowsing, the information is top down. This type of technology is bottom up. So the energies are filtering up the pendulum rather than down.
And you're receiving this information in your mind?
So so very much how this works is I'm very much the, sorry, I'm just trying to think of the right word, the catalyst. I'm very much the catalyst for this. So my energies are very much, and obviously the energies of the being that I'm working with as well, our energies together are tuning into the pendulum, but the information that we're receiving is coming up. So for an example, if I hold it above a picture of who someone I believe is a starseed, as I said, my pendulum, I'll make sure that I'm connected. I'm connected to that being's energy field, and my pendulum will move in a certain way. So it'll pull down to say, yes, I'm connected. I'll feel a very strong pull. And I say, right, that's the connection. Right, now tell me, are you a non-agenda being or are you an agenda being? Normally you ask one question first, you get an answer. Then depending on what the answer is, you'll then ask a second. So you're not necessarily, Ivan, going back to your question, is that regards to you're not necessarily getting pictures in your mind. I'm not getting any pictures in my mind. This is purely based on vibrational frequencies and energy fields. That's the main purpose of this device.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're working, for example, if you're unsure if the being that you're looking at is, say, reptilian, you don't want their energies going into you. You don't want that energies going into you. So when I was saying before that the copper is antibacterial, the energies will go round it, it'll get to a point, and that's it. It won't come back into me. So yeah. I'm not picking up on any of those, negative.
Can I ask you something? You know that among us, among the human race, we have a lot of, not a lot, but a lot, beings who taking or transforming their bodies to human body. And normally we cannot, does that make sense or?
Sorry, Evan, could you repeat that for me?
So we know that among us, among the humans, we have presence of another kind of intelligence, maybe extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
And they are able to change their natural body, physical body, with our body.
Yeah, correct.
Are you able to recognize with your pendulum who is, you're meeting someone, can you recognize if this person is a human or half human and half something or only something?
Yeah. Very much so.
Did you have an experience like that?
Yes. That's a lot of the main work that I actually do is in regards to it. I'm doing a lot of research at the moment on various individuals, and I'm not going to go into detail, but both face to face and also obviously by pictures and things like that, because they're in a different world to me anyway. But yes, very much so. If I'm unsure of the race, the being, the vibrational frequency, or indeed whether they're here for good or bad, this will tell me.
I believe you feel that presence when they come to you.
Yes. Yeah. With the off-worlder who I've now been working with for some time, we have learned to very much work together. And there's, how can I put this? It's working in sync. It's very much working in sync, and it's the same as when you're working with a tool. You're very much in sync with that tool. You bring that into your own kind of like energy field. You bring that into your own being to say, right, this is what I need to know. This is what you need to tell me. Does that answer your question, Ivan?
Yeah. That is very interesting. How frequently you meeting people like that?
It's very, very difficult to say, if I'm being truly honest.
They coming to you for advice or something, or how exactly that happens?
Not necessarily. I think in the future, I've been told that will be the case more and more as we progress through things. I think it will be the fact of when I meet various individuals who I'll be able to show how this works. And not only that, I will be able to see the individuals who I'm meeting, and will be able to, they might even have questions themselves to go, well, I've been told this, or I've been told that, or I feel this, or I feel that, or I think my mum is, or I think my so-and-so is X, for example. At the moment, as I said, the main base of my work is kind of looking from a global perspective, if you like, at very much the leaders, the non-leaders, kind of like maybe people in so like famous people, people close to me. As I said, it's kind of just delving deep and very much kind of really learning of how to work with this new tool as well. So I don't necessarily do it on a one-to-one basis daily, but as I said, it's more the research side of it for me at the moment. But my guys are definitely saying it will become more and more of a one-to-one basis going forward.
It's very interesting, something I discovered for myself personally. I knew about this from Dr. Stephen Greer, but lately I found for myself actually. I don't know how that's happening. Maybe I really don't have an answer, but I'll tell you. So, for example, when I'm thinking about Jesus, there's a story. I mean, I'm not trust 100% of the Bible because there's a lot of stuff done during the centuries. But some of the stories from the Bible is giving you just small piece idea to think about. So there's one story when Jesus walked in the street with his disciples. And then the street was a lady and she was sick. And she knew that Jesus, because people talking, Jesus is here, Jesus is here. He's doing miracles, he's healing, he's doing anything. And she knew that he usually walked by that street. So she sit down in the rock and waiting for him. And then when he getting more closer and closer, I believe she feel that special sensation for something huge it's coming. It's not just this physical body Jesus, but something more about this. And when he almost was right next to her, she touched his robe. And he stopped and he said, somebody touched my robe. He turned around and he made connection with that lady who is waiting for him. And he knew that, he feel that she knew about, I mean, they call faith. You can say faith, of course. But she knew, she feel at him and he feel her. And it's the same way as if you're doing meditation C5 or any meditation, especially outside under the sky, if you see, you can see satellites, stars, airplanes, anything. But when you see something a little bit different, you know that that thing is coming from another space or maybe from another dimension. You just feel it That is not physical object from your world. And that's why I ask you about if you had experience with some beings which pretend to be humans, but actually they're not humans.
Thank you for sharing that wonderful story, Ivan. That really is wonderful. I mean, one of the greatest things that we're with people sort of being sort of activated and enlightened at the moment is there's so many more people looking up. There are so many more people looking up, and not only looking with their eyes, but looking with their hearts.
Right.
Oh yeah, my guy's giving me goosebumps. So I think, that's one of the most amazing things that's really starting to happen now. As you said, people are looking with their eyes and they're looking with their hearts. So they are seeing a lot more now. With regards to an actual human kind of physical being that's also sort of part starseed or part of another race, yes, you do know when you have come into contact with somebody, because not only that, the vibrational frequencies are very, very different. And a lot of people tell so much with the eyes. There's so much with the, I mean, we could go on for another hour around eyes. We can go on for another hour about very much the different vibrational frequencies. But again, that's what the pendulum is very much picking up on, is indeed those vibrational frequencies, because it's projecting down into those energy fields. So I think, you do, not only if you're open to, as you said, seeing with your eyes and seeing with your heart, you feel it in each of your energy centers that, whoa, hold on a minute, something's not quite. It's like when you go maybe and buy a new house and you're going and looking at all these houses, and you might go into one and think, oh, I'm not sure about this one, because there's energies in there that just don't feel right, or there might have been something that's happened in that house before, I don't know, a death or a murder or something, because those energies stay. And that's why, again, with the pendulum work, is that you go and you clear them and you remove them and hopefully bring a little bit more harmonious stuff around. So I completely kind of agree with you on that one, Ivan, is the fact of, yes, if you do indeed come into contact with somebody on the earth plane at the moment who is a different being, and hopefully this has answered your question, is that, I think anyone who's slightly awake, I want to say, will definitely have that difference in vibrations. And that's why I said it's really about this time for this type of technology stroke tool to be coming out, as if to say, right, this is how we can tell 100% that this person or this being or this what have you is indeed Palladian, Arcturian, reptilian. I said there's 90 odd kind of species and stuff out there at the moment. So I'm hoping that has answered your question.
Watching myself from what's going on inside with me. And I'm so surprised, because all the time something new happening, surprising, like cool, surprising.
Oh, that's really good. That's really lovely.
Because you discover that actually you're, you have this body, but actually you're not that body. Something bigger of that. And you mentioned about the star seeds. I know about star seeds. And I, time to time, I'm 55 now. I'm back.
You don't look it.
I'm back in my early age when I was a kid, maybe 10 years old. Nearby to my village, we have small hill with very interesting stones. And when I was young, my dad gave me a gift for my birthday, a flashlight.
Okay.
So I'm completely fine in the dark. I'm not scared anymore.
Okay.
And with this flashlight, I'm going to that hill, especially in the summertime, laying down in the grass, feel the smell of that grass, the freshness in the sky. It's beautiful, clear, and the stars is huge.
Yeah.
And I feel that I'm part of this. Now, years later, many years later after that experience, I continue finding something more and more about this connection between me and stars. And soon after I find out about the star kids, I start thinking about maybe I'm star kid.
Okay.
Do you? I feel your energy when we're talking now. I really do. You have very, very good energy.
Thank you.
I don't know if you feel my vibration and if you have some ideas about that thing which is inside of me.
Yeah. Well, I must I must ditto your very kind words there, Ivan, in regards to the energy that you very much project, and your energy field is just wonderful colors. It's got this very nice, like I'm kind of been given a very nice way to kind of go in depth a bit more in regards to aligning that to maybe off-worlders that you're working with, sort of what your own personal heritage is. I'm more than happy, not now, but maybe another time, to kind of do more of a one-on-one with you. More than happy to, but I don't feel that that's necessarily in the context of this interview at the moment. But yeah, I've got goosebumps again, so that's a definite to say I can do that with you. So I get various signs to say whether I can or I can't, and that's if you are happy, then I am more than happy to sit down and do that with you, Ivan, when we can see how not only what my guides are saying, what the pendulum will then say, and indeed how you can work with the pendulum as well. Because I've been told that maybe that's something that can progress for you as well. But that's, as I said, in the context of, I think, this interview, that's not necessarily where we can sort of explore right now. I mean, I would like to, I just don't feel that it's quite the right time. But there are certainly, those energies are, very much there. And this is what I'm being shown. So, very much there. But as I said, I won't necessarily go into that any further now.
Okay. People start talking about upgrading the DNA in the world. I talk with two ladies. One is from Australia and the other here from Miami, Florida. They're talking that the babies is born now, the new born babies now, they're coming with completely different DNA, and they're much more smarter and much more sensitive than us when we were born. But what is the connection between the DNA? Because DNA is connecting with your physical body, how you're going to grow. I mean, evaluate is a word or not?
Yes, yes, okay. Yes. You've got the right word there, Owen. You've got the right
word. From physical aspect, but how that will help the humans with upgrading the DNA, because the consciousness is there is not connection with our physical body, the consciousness. Mm. What is the connection between upgrading the DNA and our consciousness?
The way I understand it, and I think the ladies who you were speaking for before probably know a lot more about this than myself, but the way that I understand it is very much how is that the DNA that's coming through now is there's a lot more starseed DNA coming through. So where before, obviously, we had the initial landings centuries ago, and various DNA strands sort of either wore out or I want to say got replaced, but it's kind of like there was less of more and more of some. But however, because we're now in this time of the Great Reset, one of the biggest things that is being reset, which you mentioned there, is the fact of getting that balance of DNA right back on this planet. And what that means is exactly what those ladies said before, is bringing back that starseed DNA onto this planet, where before it's been slightly, I'm not too sure the right words to use, but like wiped out, as it were, because there's a few hybrid DNA strands in there, many different hybrids which we're learning about. As I said, you've got the reptilian DNA a little bit in there. So as far as this is my understanding, so I would love to have a conversation with them to understand this much better, because that's not necessarily where my knowledge is, but I'm hoping that sort of resonates.
Mm-hmm. I want to show you something.
Oh wow, what's that?
I think it's some kind of crystal, maybe, or
I think it looks like a citrine.
I found it in the store.
Okay.
I love stones.
Okay.
So I watched that for a long time. For maybe half hour. And I said, that thing, crystal or whatever, have something. And I put it in my hand like this and holding it. And after maybe a minute, I start feel the pulse in the stone, my pulse in the stone.
Yeah.
When I hold another stone, I don't feel anything like that. So it's my impression, I don't know if I'm correct or not, but my impression is that maybe I have some kind of connection with that stone.
Yeah. Yeah. So with different crystals, I mean, I'll take like this one as an example. I mean, it's another citrine. Everyone has as I said, their own vibrational frequencies, and therefore you're correct. And I think that's a citrine, but please don't quote me on that one. Is that you'll have a different, every object has its own vibrational and energy body. Even like this pen, everything does. So therefore, one crystal may resonate with you better because that's your vibrational, it resonates with your vibrations a bit better, where another crystal might not. It's like when we eat certain foods are better for us individually because of, again, the energy vibration within the food. because everyone says, oh, eat healthier. It's kind of like, well, yes, but lettuce doesn't do anything for me, for an example. It doesn't have the right energy for me. It makes me feel sluggish, for an example, because it doesn't. And that's exactly the same with crystals. But one thing you do need to, I think, probably take into account as well is that objects can also carry energy as well. So when you do start working specifically with crystals, is that they do need cleansing and they do need charging. Because, say, for example, it may have come from somewhere else in the world. It's been shipped on like trains and planes, and so it's picked up bits and pieces of energy on its whole journey. So it's good to just, it's like us having a shower. It's like us having a shower. At the end of the day, we're using that either consciously or subconsciously. We're using that water to basically cleanse and clear all the stuff that we might have picked up during the day. And it's the same with crystals as well.
Do you have in UK community with people like you together and discussing stuff?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, as I said, I do know Beverly. I do and have done for a long time. But as for a community or indeed other individuals, I believe other individuals are now sort of coming forward, or I'm being shown them in order to have various conversations with. Obviously, with the big awakening and stuff, we're actually allowed to kind of mix and mingle, and i.e. having this conversation with yourself, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But if there is other people out there, or indeed other communities, I would love to, because there's not to be open with what I'm saying, whether to yourself or in a forum or to other people. It makes my heart sing. It really, really does.
Because if that communication is missing, then I believe people can feel themselves alone in this community or whatever.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's, as I said, I'm starting up obviously my own platforms and things, and that's what I've been told to by who I work with, because as I said, now it is the time, and obviously being provided with the tools.
Yeah.
So it's where people will, going forward, have questions. Like I had questions. I had an individual who I could go to, who's one of the most amazing people I've ever met. And yeah, I think I was lucky enough to be shown and, as I said, go through my activation with. And since then, as I said, it would be amazing to have other, to be able to help others in the way that I was as well. And now that I have my sort of full team behind me,
yeah.
As it were, it would be good to help others, and especially with the Great Awakening as well, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions.
Do you know this show Outlander?
I believe so.
It's a science fiction, but at the same time, I believe that it's about Scotland.
Oh, yes, where the lady goes through the stones. Yes. Oh, no, I have watched it. It's, rather beautiful.
So I just feel that, I mean, I don't know if this is in Scotland or somewhere, but I feel that there's places like this. You can physically can pass, because that passing to another dimension or world happen with transformation of the physical body. I mean, we're not going through the bricks or stones. Do you have your special place to go and meditating and getting energy or getting information from the past?
Yes and no. Yes and no to that question. All you need is in you. All you need is in you. So it doesn't matter where you are.
Mm-hmm.
It's tuning right in. It's tuning you. You are you. You are your being. You are that connection.
Right.
So that's why I kind of said yes and no at the same time, because yeah, I'm getting goosebumps. It's provide yes, in regards to there are various points within the earth where you have ley lines that cross, so you have vortexes, and meditating on those is very powerful and very uplifting. And I've had people mention amazing experiences that they've had, because again, kind of if you have those ley lines and you have those vortexes, especially if it's various ley lines coming in from all different directions, there's an amazing I think it's a geometric, I can't remember.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes,
there's a guy's name who I'll provide to you, who's amazing with ley lines and vortexes and all these types of things. And what he does is he does get groups of people together to sit on internationally, not just in the UK, internationally, at a certain time, and meditate within those vortexes to kind of. You mentioned, I think it was like the C5 as well with David Greer. I know of that very much so. It's a little bit tricky. I haven't really managed to do it in the UK because I don't really know. So it'd be amazing to know somebody to do that here. But whether Bev knows, I don't know. But I know with this other gentleman, and I will get his name for you. I've done one of his because there's some ley lines up in sort of Tunbridge Wells. I said I'm in Ashford, and so in sort of Tunbridge Wells way, there's a big vortex, and there was 3 or 4 of us that meditated on that, and it was just this rush of energy. It was incredible that just really kind of like lift us up at this one time. So, and again, if you get groups of people together, because you're lit, it's kind of like, to them it's like this bulb of light, because you've got all these amazing light beings kind of really sending their light up, going, we're here.
Yeah.
Type of thing. So the main thing is yes, there are. I mean, I love going to woods and forests and just out in fields and stuff, just being away from all this electric and like the electromagnets and stuff like that, being away from all that and really feeling the energies of the earth as well. But at the end of the day, you're always starting from here.
Yeah.
Wherever you are. Because that's the most important thing. You are the most important thing, that being in here, that energy, soul.
Yeah.
Hopefully that answers your question.
What you would like to say, like conclusion for this conversation?
Really be a message that I've just said in regards to being in here, and we can use all the tools possible. We can use pendulums, we can use rods, we can use but at the end of the day, it's that connection to ourselves, to our true being, to our having our eyes open, having our hearts open, and having that connection to source, having that connection to the world, the planet. And I think the one thing that really overlays all of that, and that you wouldn't be able to do anything else without, is bringing it back to love.
Thank you very much for your time to be with us. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
Oh, it's been wonderful, Ivan.